Guys, this is Tigers coming back to you with Overwatch, and the 10th anniversary events are still up. So if you haven't played anything to do with them yet, I recommend doing it because you get a load of loot boxes. Like I've not even done all these yet. It's from the May the 12th to June the 2nd. I more than likely will end up getting all these. There's currently up a mystery showdown 5v5. Again, more than likely will. But before we jump in, quickly open up the loot boxes I do have. Then we'll be jumping into, well, the same thing happens every single time. We'll get some lore. Ooh. And then we'll play a few games. Those games I have no idea until I double check, see what's actually up. See, Divas is one I do really like. Because don't get me wrong, I don't hate the Overwatch 2 designs. But some of them are plain. Reinhardt I do think looks cool. I'm just not the biggest fan of the hammer. See, for me, because I've got hardlight or like weapon skins equipped for them, I don't get to see what they look like, but Mercy does look nice. Although, that's where I had Mercies. But yeah, like, don't get me wrong, it does look nice, because there are a few, like, Mercy's is one of them that I do think looks nice. Because I think the purple with, like, the... I don't want to say white, because it's more of a, like, it's more of a metallic-y white. It's, sort of like a silvery color, like a very dull silver. But comparing it to, because they're based off their Overwatch designs with recolor, when I can actually get up to them, because like I say, it's based on that, and again, I don't hate this design. I do think it's cool. I just think for the most part, the Overwatch designs for the base skins are some of them are kind of boring. Like Mercy's Classic had a bit more color, and I overall did like it. Like boot wise, I kind of like both equally. I kind of prefer these like kind of little sticking out bits. The legs are a bit more cooler. I do definitely prefer how they look more armored, because like, it's just basically front armor on the front compared to essentially just armored boots or armored high heels. The torso area looks roughly similar, minor differences and just a few new added details and a touch of colours. But one I do want to see, because I have actually used this one before now, is Ash's Overwatch 2. I do actually like the design. Now, I've already got it. Am I going to have to filter for unowned? I am. The magic skins that they've just got for, like, you've got Los Angeles, a variant from, like, 2018. Classic Paris, some, like, a classic Dynasty, which does look nice and does actually really suit Ash. Haunted is actually a really cool one, too. See, I completely forget some of the Ash skins. Like, Bob looks really cool on this. Like, I do honestly forget about some of the skins Ash does have. Flamingo was a skin I did want to get, but, like, I've got the... That's just an alter, like, just a different color variation of another skin she's got. In that case, do I have that skin? Um. See, I don't have Cassidy's. I don't have Lucio's. I don't have Farah's. Don't have Road Dogs, Soldiers, Symmetras, Torbians. Widows looks cool because Widows is a nice little blend and gives us some more colours than just Blaze Black. Did Ash not get one? Apparently not. I'm mistaken. But before, guys, I do spend any more time basically talking, time to get into some lore.
Begin log. Project Chimera, Experiment 74B. It would seem the Grand Mesa acquisition has proven satisfactory. The serum from the Soldier Enhancement Program is purer than I anticipated. Though Dr. Norton's foundational work was always elegant, she was hampered by excessive ethical considerations. A pity. Reluctance to push beyond theoretical limits is the death of progress. How fortunate her creation now rests in unfettered hands. I am now integrating the serum's base code with my own retroviral vectors. Vendetta demands a stable, mass-producible formula for herself and her gladiators. Enhanced strength, speed, cognitive processing.
I mean, they look like Genji skins.
And of course, zero risk. She has her father's ambition.
I mean, that's just Vendetta.
Logically, I anticipated some form of retribution due to my involvement in her family's downfall. I may not have pulled the trigger myself, but the vengeful are not known to discriminate. Yet now she funds my laboratory without a second thought. I suppose inexorable conquests have a way of smoothing over past grievances. Doomfists fall. Vendettas rise. Merely a footnote in my research logs. Akande's sole managerial virtue was staying out of my way. Whether my new patron affords me the same independence is an open variable. The work, however, remains the constant. Stability. That was always the flaw in the original formulation. And in my own early forays, the cellular regeneration I induced in Reyes was a monumental leap. To force the body to continually repair itself. To cheat death through sheer biological will. A beautiful, brutal concept. But the accompanying degeneration was volatile. I learned more from watching his body tear itself apart than I ever did from the temporary stasis it fought to maintain. With Reyes, himself an enhanced soldier as my test subject, I'd work backward from the final result. But with the original formulation in hand, there is an opportunity to build a better product from the ground up. A momentary diversion. The vector is rejecting the serum's protein markers, a predictable if tedious complication. I'm introducing a binding agent to force cohesion. There. Progress demands a price, it seems. I had no qualms accepting the stolen serum from Vendetta. Yet my own work has suffered similar setbacks twice in recent memory. First in Runasapi, where interlopers sabotaged countless data points in the Inti warriors' solar threading. Then in Oasis, where the so-called freaks, some underground movement Helix had antagonized, made off with my...
I mean, hasn't a group of people did steal something, I just can't remember what. It's going back years now.
Is not the loss of knowledge. Every failed synthesis, every catastrophic reaction, it's all data. Their theft forced me to develop a far more efficient extraction method. One that will allow me to bind the serum's properties to a subject's telomeres directly. So, in a way, I suppose I am grateful. One must always find the advantage in adversity. The synthesis is complete. No violent exothermic reaction, no rapid crystallization, just a perfect, pliable solution. A formulation that will make Vendetta and her gladiators unstoppable. Or so she will tell them. In truth, whatever power it brings will be hers alone to wield. A predictable move for one so fixated on a crown. No matter. In time, the genetic rewrite of this serum will allow for far more specialized applications. This use is merely the beginning. Scientific advancement stops for no one. Not for failed subjects, not for stolen isotopes, not for the rise and fall of the world's warlords. It is a river, and I am its only conscious current. Samples proceeding to Phase 1 trials. Persist.
So guys, a lot to basically compact from that. Now, Moira has been for years. I don't know if she was like this back in Overwatch, but if for those who don't know, I don't know if she was part of Overwatch or whether she was just part of the Blackwatch group. But basically, the Blackwatch group who consisted of Cassidy, Reaper, Cassidy was in charge, Reaper, Moira, and Genji. To me, Genji was kind of out of place in that group. Cassidy's kind of a bit more of a rebellious type, and Reaper and Moira fit perfectly as the essential, what I don't want to say is like equivalent of like the Suicide Squad, but it's kind of a case of, we need you to go and do this, but we can't be associated with it sort of type. Which I don't have a problem with, like, superheroes having people like that. They're just being a group of heroes that can just go in without causing a problem. But yeah, Moira has been for years the definition of, give me a lab and unlimited funding and I'll do basically whatever you ask me. She turned Reaper into a monster. She basically fucked the Reaper into a way that doesn't really... His powers in lore are unstable at points. I don't know if they always are, but there has been a point where him, Widow, and Sombra were on a mission. This back in the old days of Overwatch. And Sombra basically betrays him. And Reaper tries to sneak in, but his fade starts playing up a bit. And from experiments Moira's done. It's not the only person she experimented on. She also experimented on Sigma, and I'm saying this now, I never much forgot about Sigma. Like, not skin-wise, because, again, he gets a load of skin. Some of these are back from Overwatch 1, like old Overwatch. But like, to just kind of remember all of them. Like, again, he has a good selection of skins, and he does get them somewhat regularly. It's usually every, like, 2-3 seasons he gets a skin. But, like, lore-wise, he has not been mentioned in a while. Now, he was a member of Talon with Sombra. And Sombra was always kind of like, don't hurt him. She was always kind of the more saucer touch when it came to Sigma. So I don't... I'll get back to that. Guys, I'm saying Ash is the only one without one. Thinking, no, hold on, there's a group of them, don't. So are they going to do the others at some point? I've no idea whether they are or not. But like, there's a whole group. There's like, Sombra when it came to Sigma was more like, please don't hurt him, he's innocent, all of this. But Moira didn't give a shit. Moira's a mad scientist. You give, like, the reason she happy enough said fuck you to Doom wasn't because of what wasn't because she believed in what Vendetta was. Because she also played in the part executing her father. And Vendetta quite frankly stated, I don't give a shit if people in this room are to blame for his death. This is a nice little fresh start. Anyone who sticks with me. Now, Sombra left because quite frankly she didn't trust her. And she couldn't work with someone she didn't trust, and Doom was bad enough, but Vendetta's worse. Widow also left for, I think, similar reasons. Don't quote me for the trust thing. And Reaper left for because of, quite frankly, she's gunning for him. Reaper's the one who pulled the trigger. But Moira didn't try and stop him. Cassidy didn't try and stop him. Neither did Genji. Now, 2 of those members are part of Overwatch, and makes And while Vendetta has no problem declaring war against Overwatch to get to Cassidy and Genji, she'd be going through all of Overwatch just to get at 2 people. Now, she can eliminate Moira at any point, but she can also just buy Moira's loyalty. Give her a brand new spanking lab with access to everything she could ever want. And Reaper's a lot of things, and he's also very smart. He knew staying a part of Talon was going to fuck him over. Do I think him, Widow, and Sombra would join Overwatch? I think it'd be a smart move for all 3 of them. Go and chuck themselves at things like Soldier and Cassidy's Mercy. But I don't know if Soldier's back a member of Overwatch. And have Cassidy basically plead the case of Reyes could be useful. But Zarya be like, not Sombra. And it would cause beef between those 2. But then again, I could also see Cassidy being like, let me reform Blackwatch. But yeah, you give Moira a brand new spanking line, but she's basically going to say yes to anything. I guess what is going to happen is I'm going to do a game of Mystery Showdown first. But yeah, basically, Moira is basically trying to... Because as far as I think Soldier might be equivalent of Super Soldier. Reaper definitely is. Before I do jump into the game, there's also a few other people. By Super Soldier, I'm just going to go over anyone enhanced. Doomfist has definitely had enhancements, not including his metal arm. Hazard 100%, and I can't remember what he stole. Winston was experimented on, same for Wrecking Ball. Malga's 100% is, he's got the 2 hearts. Robot, no. Bodybuilder, I'm gonna say potential, because I can't 100% remember. Reinhardt is just generally strong. Ratchet's a robot. Young Queen's also strong, and I think Dominant potentially. By robot, I'm basically referring to anyone that's Omnic. Again, an Omnic. 100%. Common Thief, nope. I'm going to say yes for Soldier, because I do think he has. I do think he probably was just part of a project that basically gave him enhanced strength and enhanced speed. Symmetra, I'm going to say no, no. Ash, I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if she volunteered. Cassidy, I also don't think so. Same for Hanzo and Genji and Kiriko. The Kiriko might be slightly weird. Sojin, 100%. She's definitely an enhanced soldier from her own body parts alone. She's mostly robot at this point. Widow is. She was enhanced to be a meta sniper. Sombra, I believe so. Serena, I don't 100% know, but I think she has been. Or at least is highly trained. Farah, I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised. Freya? I also don't think so, since she's skilled. No. No. Venture, if she isn't already, then she will be. But I think she is potentially being enhanced. Tracer, yes. Her acceleration stuff. Reaper is being experimented on, so yes. Genji hasn't been turned cybernetic, but I don't necessarily think he's been given any additional enhancements. But again, could be wrong. And same for Anran. I don't think she has been given enhancements. I think what you see from Anran and Wu Young is basically them at the peak skill. Because there's a difference between being peak human and being a super soldier. Anna, no. Baptiste, I'm going to say no. Jetpack Cat, I'm also going to say no. Lucio, no. Zen's a robot. Kiriko, no. Lifeweaver, I'm going to say no. Mercy, no. Moira, I wouldn't be that surprised. Wu Hang, no. Mizuki, I'm not 100% sure, but I think no. Juniors from space, no, and then no. There's like a handful of super soldiers in this game. Also, guys, anyone who didn't see stream on Tuesday, this is current comp progress. So, yeah, that's gonna be fun. We're gonna go and do a game of Mystery Showdown because something that's not done. So, this should be interesting. I also have no idea what's about. But guys, I've got to get into a game. Oh, it's this map. Guys, we've got loaded into a game. I also didn't get picked, so I have no idea. I mean, we've got Moira. Part of me was like, is it members of talent? I also can't change who I'm playing. But then, like, I'm Zen and we've got a Winston. Oh, honestly, I can't think of anyone else. Would you can say support for talent? But like, man was right there. It is just basically a normal game. Like, I don't 100% know. But for most of it, when you do get kills, you change here, but like, you don't, anything happens when you die. And time punch to find out. No, so when you die, nothing does happen. Jesus Christ, as a support player, I was going on a kill streak. Yeah, so guys, basically from that war alone, Moira is trying to make, or at least improve Super Soldiers. But if one of my science experiments had flaws as bad as Reapers can be, as like an not controllable thing, I wouldn't necessarily be happy with that. So is it just base skins? I've honestly only just noticed. I've only been getting my base skins. I mean, I've done terrible for healing, but like killing wise, I've done pretty decent. Guys, from what I can tell, Showdown is basically the equivalent of gun game on like COD or any game like that. Every time you get a kill with a gun, you gun swap and you start with like something terrible. Except in this case, Showdown is slightly more random. Now, as far as I can tell, I don't think it's a count. I think you do have to directly be involved for the kill. Because I helped with that, but that didn't count. Basically, there's a sniper. Now, I always end up yelling. And every time I get the sniper, I instantly end up being stuck with it for like several rounds. And guys, I'm terrible when it comes to snipers. I'm not a sniper-based person when it comes to games like that. Give me an assault rifle, give me a backup pistol, and I'm fine. Like anytime I do say run, say sniper. Okay, so people just locked in specific roles then. Because I'm now back to Life Weaver. But the only time I do see people playing Life Weaver when they willingly pick Life Weaver. So that just kind of does just go out the window.
Personne
Ooh, Anna. I say, please don't kind of. For once, I kind of want to get kills. I love playing Kiriko. Because of being a more of a backup support, she can function pretty well as a primary, as long as she's got someone to assist her. Damn it. Just because, see, the one way I would basically change it is, I would have it so, you, have it, like, you can swap between any of them. So it's basically Showdown Mystery style. Which I'm pretty sure is just Mystery here, so I think once you die... Because I like the kind of point, but like the only reason that it would be kind of cool is because you could go from saying having, say, 2-3 support to not having a single one. To then only having supports, and it's a nice little mystery. So it's kind of hard to basically go and be like, because the way I basically do it is when I'm like, okay, Zenyatta and Mercy were doing really well that game. I'll endorse both of them, and I keep track of the player, not the player, the character. But then when everyone's switching every time they get a kill, it's like, so at that point I'm like, yeah, fuck it, these two.
Thumbs up to that.
Find it has me as a Life Weaver. Don't get me wrong, I've been saved by Life Weaver recently, so I don't completely hate the character. But I've seen way too many Life Weavers pull me out of situations where I didn't need to be pulled. Now, quickly. Oh, thank God. But I'd say, if it has just changed them all. My guys, I've bet since I loaded into a game. Right, guys, get into a game, and I'm feeling random.
I'll decide my own.
Don't I have a skin for Mizuchi? Guys, I'm saying this now, I'm not playing the DPS role. More specifically, I only want to play DPS. And guys, basically, I've whinged about DPS players a lot recently when I've come to basically Valorant, Australia, and Super Overwatch. I'm pretty sure I ended up whinging about them on stream. And I'm basically saying this now. I don't have a problem with everyone wanting to play DPS. My problem comes to the fact of when, because a good example of this was, I think it might have been the Sunday video about, it was either the Sunday or the Wednesday video or the Tuesday stream. There was like 3 videos from the 4th all the way for that week. Now, I'm going to play another game at this point. I get they're probably new and it's not as annoying in this, but this is like, if you want a perfect team for elimination where you all play like one specific roles or switch between them, and like you actually have like a healer and all a lot, you do basically just want like a team that's, you know, not just random players. Yeah, I wasn't gonna get trapped in that then. Of course, Torbjorn did. And does it even pop up with historic kills? No, I'm impressed. Like I say, if we are really playing DPS, then I am playing it in their own game. I played support first round, not playing him again. And why, yes, I could just play tank.
Always climb, never fall.
But at the same point, I was expecting a full DPS team, so Surrender was like, yeah, I barely play. But the reason why you do want like a healer for elimination is just because the case of it is completely who does survive. And that was surprisingly a very quick game. Of course it was. Not surprised. Ah, over the shoulder. But yeah guys, I'll be back since it's loading. I mean, guys, loading the comment didn't take that long, but time to be frustrated to live in hell. I'll take Junkertown actually, it's a good map.
Choose heroes to ban.
I don't want to see the live. Yeah, I agree on Jetpack Cap, not agree on Sombra, Widow, Zarya actually to agree on. I'm also chucking Torbjorn into the mix. I thought between Torbjorn and Spectra and Jetpack Cat and Liveweaver, but Zarya is generally annoying at points to deal with. Especially in a map like this where it's control based and Zarya is way too good on control. The Zarya can full on hold a point. Also, Mizuchi's been popped on, sorry. Oh, that's why. I will go Kiriko.
I'll find my own path.
In a case of I can function as a DPS, I can function as a support. I have more function with support wise because I'm what I generally need to, but I still have the combat function. Compared to a lot of supports where, for instance, Mercy, it's not as easy to switch.
Carried on the wind.
Why do we almost have a 14 with DPS? Guys, see, I'm saying this. I've said this a lot recently. I don't think Roll Q is the way to go because I do think it basically just emulates one set of people. From the case of if you don't want to deal with the fact that everyone playing DPS, your only choice is Roll Q. But Open Q gives you the flexibility. But then you have to give everyone wanting to play DPS and everyone playing DPS, especially in lower ranks. But because I got fucked up more than once in higher ranks, I've now got to deal with it now, which isn't fun. Which is why I personally would introduce a limit on roll limits. They'd basically function very similar to what Open Q and what Roll Q does, but in a case of no more than 3 DPS, no more than 3 tanks, and no more than 3 supports. That way, you don't have a full team of each, and I'd also make it so you need at least 1 of each. By having shit, I thought Ash might have been able to do Bastion, but that was mistaken. But I haven't seen it at least want to reach, and not everyone can play DPS. You then limit it down very much. Because then you need at least a tank and support, and
I learned from that.
I'd still keep it at 66, but I'd also have 5v5 as an option too. Because the fact of like DPS would then be locked from 3 people, you're still at least guaranteed one or the other, which means you could end up with 2 supports, 2 tanks, but you still end up with 3 DPS. The reason I wouldn't completely limit it down to 2-2-2.
We're outnumbered.
I honestly don't. Shit. Oh, cool landmine skin. I just think the black and orange just looks cool. But like, the reason Rivals doesn't is because it doesn't have roll queue. And I'm presuming because it doesn't have roll queue, it doesn't have the annoyance of people and being like, well, I want to play DPS. No, piss off. If you want to play DPS, don't get playing GOM. Because guys, yes it is just a game, but at the same point, it's also a team game. If you're not prepared to be part of that team, leave. Like, make them work. Torbjorn's not the worst case, would have been better for defense.
Stay in sight.
And
I'll keep you safe.
the reason why I don't like the current system for open queue and there not being a system is, do I think Widow's going to be useful for this part of the map? No. And
I need some help. Got one here.
and that's not how comp is was. I know what I'm basically saying is just like nagging. If anyone does comment in the comment section below being like, why bitch? It's just because you're terrible at the game. And I find that the fact you are a DPS player bitching the fact that me saying the fact that you need to learn to stop being such a dick, I will tell you to shut the hell up. Because guys, I love playing DPS. I barely play DPS because 1, roll queue exists, 2, and that's primarily what I do play because of shit like this. Only time I don't play more of roll queue is in comp. Because open queue is just a bit nicer and it's less work for the same KO. Catch him in his blind spots.
Into the iris.
Which shouldn't be too hard.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Speed healing. Don't rest the Widow. And guys, most of the enemy team was actually better prepared. 2 tanks. So let's look at someone on our team. So I'm assuming it was someone on the enemy team. Mainly because they're Bastion with me and I quite frankly wasn't paying that much attention to Moira. I'm sorry, he got sneaky shots to me and it bugged me. But like I say guys, it shouldn't have been. It's stupid. Like, I honestly am getting pissed the fact that I'm in the teams where people are like, I only want to play DPS. Oh, Cassidy's and Lucio's. And 1, other people want to play DPS. 2, stop being a selfish dick. 3, learn how to play the game. Like, guys, the reason I preferred how Overwatch they can't do it like this anymore. I don't know what the qualifications are these days because basically anyone who'd already qualified to play comp back before it became Overwatch 2 kept the qualification to play comp because it would have been such a dick to basically be like, hey, so now you all have to redo all this boring ass work. Guys are back soon as I get into a game now, carry on whinging. Ah, loading into a game. And I'm going to presume support.
Form and function working in harmony.
Form is vital to function.
And guys, I'm sorry if the game looked laggy as anything. But yeah, to get back to what I was saying,
Well,
I am honestly fed up of getting chucked into games of comp with incompetent twats. The reason I preferred how it used to be is because you had to be level 25. Getting to level 25 wasn't as easy. Playing comp, yeah, was a decent-ish way to level up. But arcade, doing it only in arcade could take a bit of a time. And then quick play, I can't really remember. I think quick play was potentially an okay way to do it. I honestly can't remember, but basically what it did teach you was don't be a moron. And what I liked about the fact of don't be a moron was it taught you how to play the game. I honestly do think to play comp, you should have some brain cells, and from what I'm seeing in comp players recently, they don't. Now, I 100% hope next season's basically just going to be a complete case of, look, we're 10 times better than we were. Like, if it wasn't going to be such a chore, I would honestly let my role queue ranks basically reset. But I don't fancy me doing 30 games. And quite frankly, I've not done none this season. Now, do I wish it wasn't reset? Yeah, I really do. Like, if I could base it, if it was just a case of, if you haven't played any games of comp, like, if it was just a case of, you need to play a bare minimum of 10 games of comp per season, 5 games for the first half, 5 games for the second half, I would be fine with it. I already do. I play that much within the first 2 weeks of the new season. But yeah, like I say, if it was first come first serve, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I completely forgot who I was playing. I was like, wait, am I playing not Manrun? Am I playing Life Weaver? No, I was playing Wu Young. But like I said, guys, comp is just getting to a point where I'm starting to question whether I should stream comp anymore. Now, I don't want to go to only streaming role queue because it will get boring. Oh, look at this person only playing tag and support because they're not getting any DPS.
I'll find my own path.
Kiriko! And guys, I will literally choreograph to the wait times. And if the fun isn't in it, then what's the point in playing it? And like I said, guys, for anyone does think it's just a game, it's like, yeah, which is meant to be fun. And the fun's not there, and it is literally basically raising my, it's like, comp may as well be raising, it probably is actually raising my blood pressure. Like, I wouldn't be that surprised if in the future, and I end up down the doctors and it's just like, yeah, so dude, you shouldn't have to quit playing. Like, what causes you to manage that? I'll play this game called Overwatch and it's got a competitive side to it and all that lot, and it's, I know doctors shouldn't have stressed me out, but it does. Yeah, well, you need to stop playing that. Like, I know exactly that would be the message. But again, do I think comp should be stressing me out? No. Am I fed up with dumb and stupid teams? Yes. I want the common sense players. Like, all honesty, if next season did completely, you know, just wipe rank placements and make you redo them, I'd be down for it. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Nah, elimination, and then I'll do a game of DPS. Guys, I'm back since I loaded into a game. Well guys, into a game. But like I said guys, I really don't like being stupidly negative, and I continue now. Before I jump into a game of comp, I'm like, yes, like I'm all happy, cheerful, and like as much as I am anyway. Sigma. Like until I jump into comp, like, I from one game of comp, I'm like, nope, night ruined. Shit. Yeah, Hanzo versus Reinhardt, almost dead, could have. Then dealing with Ant-Man who can set him on fire. Not gonna go where you want it to go.
Why ask questions?
So like guys, elimination is also another thing where I get full people only playing DPS because elimination is that game mode where you got people new to the game. Which I understand. But what I don't understand is people playing comp where you have to actually play, I think it's like 50 games, like 50 wins. Which, if it is 50 wins, I change back my opinion.
Cosmically insignificant.
But yeah, if it is 50 wins, I full on do change back my opinion. Because that is harder to get than just getting to level 25. You could potentially get to, like, I think, for funs and jokesy. Let's see how long I can last this Bunny Mercy. Well, guys, if anyone does this, yes, I've still got Bunny Mercy equipped. But the rule I typically go by is until I get bored of a skin. To be fair, the smart choice would just be sticking with Orisa. Like I say, the smart choice is sticking with Orisa.
Still watching over you.
Now, I can res Orisa in a few seconds. Weirdly enough, Widow's kept me alive longer. You know, the sniper. She kept me alive longer. Actually, I play a lot of quick play and a bit of comp. I mean, actually, to be fair, I just not see the Bastion coming around the corner, but we should have game. GG. I forgot someone had that, thing. She literally snuck up, dealt with, Serena, and I also helped. Junkrat fell off the map, and then she hacks Bastion and gets the final kill on him. But what I will quickly show and demonstrate is, guys, for support and tank, support is 1 minute, that's the role you're going to get into the quickest. Tank is a couple minutes. Pretty decent. To get into damage, I'm waiting a bare minimum of 6 minutes. Now, I would... Like, guys, I've been recording for about an hour and 20-ish minutes, roughly. If that gets up to about an hour 30, about an hour 30, then it would have been about 10 minutes. I'll be back to get into a game. It could be quick, it could not, but again, back to get into a game. Right, guys, that actually did take about 6 minutes.
Select your hero.
And guys, the one difference between open and roll queue is a lot nicer.
Select hero bands.
Yeah, someone's going for Reaper. Okay, Reaper's getting banned. Yeah, I'm called it now. Same as like Zara and Serena. Oh, thank the Lord. I expect Sunburn. Kind of Malga too. But guys, in roll queue it's 5v5, which is one less player, which does slightly impact, but not by the biggest amount. But like I say,
What is your
people
fascination?
aren't going to do that just to play DPS. They're not going to wait the 6 minutes.
Entropy.
Apart from maybe you or something. But then you could end up games where your 14 isn't locked out of DPS. So I think just limiting it to like 2 or 3. So like, you know, 3, no more than 3 per thing. And yeah, in 5v5 you'd very much have half your team like that. But say I can play Reaper, but I don't play Reaper for its perks because I'm not the biggest fan of either of them. And so other than that, I don't really have much of an idea. But like at the minute, Overwatch is comp is pissing off. Getting into hunt for Monster Hunter is driving me nuts. Only thing not is Minecraft. And because I'm saying this now, I've not changed how I've been playing. So if I've not changed how I'm playing, but then I'm losing games at points where I potentially shouldn't. 2 minutes isn't the worst thing in the world, we just need to get more than 2 minutes. Which is kind of possible, I don't fully know. But to be fair, Bastion was definitely a good pick from another DPS player. So was Orisa. Because honestly guys, I can say right now, the only things I'm really enjoying content-wise... What's that roadkill burger? Fun day, fudge Sunday. What the fuck is a fudge day, fun day, fudge day, fun day, Sunday? Wait a minute, my Twitter. But yeah, one of the things that I'm really enjoying content-wise is Marvel Rivals, because this season so far in Rivals has been awesome. And Minecraft, it says something about what I'm filming. Now, this week content-wise for Monster Hunter hasn't been the worst. And I'm saying this because guys, what I'm saying now is, I don't know, because again, filming this on Thursday, so I don't know how Tuesdays, Friday's stream's gonna go, or how, like Friday's video, or how Saturday's Monster Hunter video's gonna go. But, so far, they've all, see, I didn't, like, because I didn't hate filming Saturday's Monster Hunter, because that was fun. Slight bit of frustration than getting into a poacher hunt, but that's fun. If you've not seen the video, basically, now I'm up to the point where it's just Elder Dragon hunts, basically, for the most part. And I was speechless. It's been a while since I've basically clicked instantly into a hunt. Now, not the really same in the world, because I don't think there was any point in world where I was trying to get into other people's hunts. But something I would have been doing in Rise is loading into other people's hunts so I don't have to sell up and wait for them. And because then I've not had to do that. Damn you, Torbjorn. Honestly, Torbjorn is annoying. Not because of Torbjorn, but because of his turret. Let's say, can I put bullshit twice off? Now, leave and ray form for movement. That can be slightly better. Now, consider I almost got that to the door by myself. I'm gonna take that. That's an achievement. And guys, the one annoyance of basically recording Overwatch personally for me is I don't like comp is basically the one where I do sort of edit certain parts out because elimination's quick. No. I can almost look at Then you can shut the hell up. That wasn't easy. I had, you know, taken care of you. Like, I'd altered you very simply. See, what I don't like is copy players. Because if that was easy, I wouldn't have been able to get to the point and move almost to the door. But for a good while, I basically only ever did play raw queue comp and just worked around it. But there is a difference. Yes, I still did lose. Or am I going to have to worry about playing tank or support and not being able to play DPS? But either way, guys, if you're new around, please like, comment, subscribe, and this is Tigress signing off, and I'll see you next time. Bye.